Hello and welcome to episode 32 of Marbella with him and her. He is
PJ Lopez and she is
Hannah Murray. Yay, we got it right. Well done, you remembered.
I did, and it seems a long time since we did our last podcast.
It really does, doesn't it? But it was only a week ago. We did it on Saturday.
Yes, so it's only a week and one day, but it just seems a long time.
Well, we've had quite a lot on, haven't we?
We have, yes, mainly around theatre stuff, but yes, and family.
Yes, and family. We had my dad's cousins here, Barbara and Keith, and we recorded the podcast last Saturday before the barbecue that we hosted, which went rather well.
It did go very well. Nice food, I must admit.
Yes, well done. We did well on the food.
A joint effort.
Yeah, you said last week that I step up to the plate when it comes to barbecue.
Yes, and you seem to enjoy it. You don't enjoy much other cooking, but you seem to enjoy that.
Yeah, it's true. I do. I really get into it. This was an experiment. You made the most delicious Thai pork burgers.
Yeah, well, I wanted to try something different other than just normal burgers, which you made, which were lovely. But I thought, going to get some pork mince, and I had some Thai curry paste. So I really just mixed Thai curry paste in with the pork burgers and some lime
coriander.
And coriander, fresh coriander as well. And yeah, made them into little patties and cooked them.
They were seriously good, weren't they?
They were very good. They were Thai.
Definitely be doing that again. And your couscous went down very well?
It always goes down very well, my couscous.
Mm-hmm.
I think it surprises people because I put dates in it. And people love that sort of sweetness.
Yeah, dates with the feta cheese and some sweet corn and peppers and onion and, yeah, really delicious.
So, yes, successful barbecue. I might have got a little bit carried away at the end after I stopped cooking because I wasn't drinking much when I was cooking. And I don't eat much when I'm cooking either because I'm sort of busy doing the barbecue. So when it was all finished and I sat down, I may have got a little bit carried away with some of the alcohol.
Yes, you were getting out all the different flavoured spirits and things we had, Polish cherry vodka and things like that, weren't you?
And the chambo, is it chambo? Chambam. That's a chiringuito. Anyway, the very posh Chamois, the very French posh brandy.
Yes, so you had a few of those. I had quite a lot of crème de menthe. We were kind of going back to the 80s. I love a crème de menthe. One of my dad's cousins, Miles, who lives in Granada, he was staying at our house. And he and I stayed up till silly o'clock, putting the world to rights while you were asleep on the sofa next to us, snoring.
As I said, I may have got a little bit carried away with the alcohol after stopping cooking.
It's all good. I can't believe how much crème de menthe I had, though.
You may as well just buy some Listerine and drink that. No, it's the same.
No, it's definitely not the same. It's nice with a bit of ice.
Listerine and ice. Have you tried it? It could be even better.
Oh, no, it'd be horrible. We had a lovely family lunch at Kala Kalua, which is one of our favourite places to take family particularly, or friends, people who are here on holiday, because it's a proper chiringuito on the beach. Your feet are in the sand and it's just beautiful views. It's a really lovely spot, isn't it?
Yeah, it's sort of like that very edge of San Pedro before you sort of go across the bridge and then start walking towards Banús. But when you sit there, you can almost see the whole of the bay of San Pedro right the way round. And you can see Estepona, you can see probably Soto Grande in the distance, but then you can see Africa and Gibraltar. So it's beautiful views.
Yeah, really nice. And lovely food as well. You know, I'm quite the expert orderer, aren't I?
You've become the sort of chosen orderer of sharing food.
I'm the chosen one. Well, yeah, I sort of know what everybody likes, unless they go, oh, I don't like that, I don't like that, I don't like that. And I always ask, of course. Most people aren't that fussy, which is great. And just, order a load of food. We share, a bit of fish, bit of meat, bit of salad, bit of chips, and it's lovely. Really nice.
It's a great way to eat as well. Rather than sitting down and ordering your own big plate of food, having lots of tastes of lots of different things is just a great way of eating.
It's really, I really love it. Sometimes you just have one, you might get some croquetas, and depending on the size of the group, you might just have one croqueta each. Or like a small sliver of something, one tiny bit of beef or whatever. But it's a great way of having lots of different things.
Yeah, I mean, we do it when we go to Chinese and Indian and things. We tend to get lots of different dishes and just share them.
Yeah, I like it.
We're sharers.
And we played a family game while we were there, which is kind of a mixture of two family games that are sort of the same thing. One is called Cobham. And the other one is called Up Jenkins.
Never heard of either of them.
No?
I used to live near Cobham.
Oh, well, there you go. It's a good game, though, isn't it?
It was good fun.
It's very simple. The premise is you have like a coin or somebody's ring or something, and everyone puts their hands under the table, and you're moving the ring or coin around between people's hands, and somebody says, "Up Jenkins," and you all put your hands up as fists, so you don't know who has the coin, and then somebody has to guess it, say it's not in that one, it's not in that one, and invariably people were getting it wrong.
No skill involved, it's just guessing.
Yes, basically. Or intuition. I was pretty good though, wasn't it? I got it.
Yeah.
Your side of the table didn't.
Very lucky. Yes, okay. Well, maybe there's something in it.
Maybe. So we've been very busy this week with Abigail's party. We have done 2 out of the 3 performances now, but for the first time ever, we weren't able to get into the venue, which is El Paraiso Hotel, until the Wednesday. And the idea was to get in on the Saturday and start building the set and painting and all that kind of stuff. But that wasn't able to happen until Wednesday. So there were people working extremely hard there all day from 9 in the morning.
Yeah, a long day, getting everything set.
Unbelievable. Including my dad's cousins who were there, who were very excited doing the painting and things, which is great.
And it's amazing because it looks like a proper 70s lounge.
It's brilliant, isn't it? The wallpaper that Sheila got is fabulous.
Yeah, it does. It's like stepping back in time.
So we'll tell you a little bit more about Abigail's party shortly. But before that, we were able to get a proper meal out, evening meal out with Barbara and Keith before they went back to the UK on the Tuesday evening. Because our rehearsal on Monday, how that went determined whether we were going to have rehearsal on Tuesday or not. And it was decided that we could have the evening off, which was good.
I don't know if that was a good idea or a bad idea now, but anyway, we enjoyed some good food.
Yeah, we went to Chef by Divot. Love it there. The Chateaubriand, €25 per person.
Yeah, I mean, we've mentioned it before in a podcast, but if you haven't tried it yet, thoroughly recommend it. It's a great place, and we've had great food every time we've been. Yeah. And we've had the same thing pretty much each time.
We've had the
We should vary it a bit.
But it's just so good.
I know.
We love it. And you cook it yourself and,
Got everyone involved in that, didn't we? Everyone was good.
Everyone had a bit. Everyone loved it. On Thursday, me, Sheila and Barbara went to check out San Pedro Market, because anyone from around here knows that there is a market in San Pedro every Thursday, so we thought that would be a nice thing to do, but it was closed.
Yeah, well, you were going to go on a spending spree, so I called in a few favours and asked them to close it for the day so that you couldn't.
It was unbelievable. There were loads of people walking around going, "Isn't the market open? I thought the market was open." Nobody kind of knew why. I presume it's connected to the fact that yesterday was a bank holiday. I don't know.
No, it's Feria week, isn't it? So I think the build-up to Feria and all that stuff, possibly. I can't see any other reason.
Yeah, very odd. So that was a shame. So we didn't get to do that, but we checked out some local charity shops instead. What's the butterfly one called? The Mariposa, which is... Mariposa, which is for the butterfly children, which is children with these horrendous skin conditions where the skin is peeling.
Literally, you touch it and it breaks, isn't it? It's very delicate skin.
Very, very sad. Well worth supporting this charity and charity shop in San Pedro. They have some great things in there. Sheila bought a few more ornaments for Abigail's party set. And we had a look in the Collective Calling charity shop as well. There's always some great stuff in there. We went for a little breakfast as well. We went to have some churros, which is always a nice thing to do with people on holiday as well. We only really have churros either with our friends Beth and Jamie, which we did a few months ago, or when people are here on holiday. So
just as well, probably, because it's not the healthiest breakfast.
Churros are basically long, thin donuts
that are deep fried and dipped in sugar and chocolate.
Chocolate, yeah, very nice. Very, very nice. Friday was opening night, and we were very honoured and pleased to have Mark Curry there in the audience. Our friend Mark, who used to work at Talk Radio Europe, he did the breakfast show before I did the breakfast show, so he's an ex-colleague and friend. I've interviewed him many times over the years about his Blue Peter career and also his West End and theatre career.
A bit of theatre royalty, wasn't it, really?
Oh, absolutely. So it was a bit nerve-wracking. I was desperately trying not to think about it because it's the first time he's seen us in anything, and he was really impressed.
Yeah, so he said. Probably went away saying, "Oh God, I'm not going to that again." No, I think it went very well. Right. Yeah, it did. It was a good opening night.
Yes, definitely.
And the play is just brilliant. I mean, it's very hard not to enjoy the play. It is funny, and emotional. It's got everything in it, and the characters. Every character in there is so good and so different and so individual.
But it's hard work. There's only 5 of us in the cast, so it means we all have a lot to say and have had a lot to learn. And I probably had the most to learn in Calendar Girls, which we did this time last year, and I reckon this part is probably twice as much.
Yeah, there's no set changes. It's the same set all the time.
All costume changes, which is nice.
And you're on most of the time, as are the others, actually. I'm the lucky one. I go off for a few pages. But yeah, it's quite intense because everybody's interacting with each other all of the time.
And I have to be honest and say that every night has been rather different.
Yes, it has.
We've got most of our lines out, but in a different order. But hopefully the audience won't notice unless they know the play really, really well. But so far nobody said, oh, you missed out the bit about such and such, so that's good.
Well, luckily this will be going out after we finish and nobody can bring a script so they can say, oh, no, they went wrong there.
Yeah, exactly.
One thing we haven't mentioned, which is really important because we're on theatre stuff, we went to see Annie.
I can't believe we forgot to mention Annie. Oh, that was fantastic. Really, really good. They did Annie the musical at the Salon Varieties Theatre. And they're really good at musicals, aren't they? I mean, plays as well, but musicals particularly. We've seen some fantastic ones there. And this was definitely up there.
Oh, it was amazing. The singing, the children, the characters. What a show. When we went away thinking we'd been to a West End theatre.
Yeah, it's that good. You know, they've got a great team there putting together the set and the set changes, the costume. You know, the sets were out of this world. The costumes, absolutely brilliant. The little kids singing, just heartwarming.
Yeah, a great Annie. And Melissa and Tony, who were Diva Fever.
Yes, they were both brilliant. Melissa played Grace. And when the salon did Annie before, Melissa played Annie when she was 10 years old. And she thought, oh, when I'm older, I'd love to play Grace. And now she played Grace. So it's a really lovely story. And she was brilliant. Her stage presence and obviously her singing, and she was
dancing.
Yeah, dancing, definitely.
And then Tony, she was fantastic.
Oh, Tony was brilliant.
Funny, very funny.
What's the character called? Oh God, I can't think of the name of the character. Thingy Marie. It's really annoying. The one with Rooster, and the ones who pretend to be Annie's parents. Basically, I can't believe I've forgotten her name. Anyway, so good. The one who played Miss Hannigan was brilliant as well. They were all good. It was really great cast. Well cast, well done. Owain was the director. And also our friend Lucy. It was her first big role, Lucy, who does all the comedy shows. She was in it. She had about 5 different parts and she was great.
Yeah.
Really, really good. So well done, everyone involved in Annie. Well remembered.
I guess it's like I can do things.
Back to Abigail's party, we haven't had a proper meal in days, have we?
No, you can just about see me. I've wasted away.
It's nice. We've lost a bit of weight, I think. We'll be going out for lunch today. We're going another family lunch because cousin Miles and his wife Sue came to see us in Abigail's party last night. And Sue's sister lives here, so we're all getting together with Dad and Sheila and having a big 10 people at a table Hogan stand lunch, so looking forward to that.
Yeah, so which is a change because we've been living on cereal and cereal bars.
Yes.
Our dinner...
And the odd sausage sandwich.
And the odd sausage sandwich, yeah. Our dinner has usually been a bar of chocolate, naked bar or a cereal bar.
Naked.
No, we're not naked eating them.
No.
Just get that across.
The bars are called Naked.
Yes.
I'm not really sure why. It's a kind of odd name, really.
Yes.
Yeah. There's been rain. There's been lots of rain, heavy rain. Do you know what the storm is called? Do you know how they name storms? Have you seen what this one's called?
Gertrude.
No, it is Storm Kirk.
Kirk.
As in Kirk.
Captain Kirk.
Captain Kirk, yes. Storm Kirk. There's been loads of flights cancelled.
Do you know his nickname?
No.
Slog.
Really?
Yeah, because at the beginning of every series he'd say, this is Captain Slog, stardate 2004.
He said Captain Slog and not Captain Kirk?
No, this is Captain's log.
Oh.
See, you're just not with it, are you? That was a joke. I'm funny.
Really? I'm not laughing, though. We've been watching some great programmes on telly. We haven't talked about our TV viewing in a while, but we thought we'd mention it because people are always saying, oh, what do you watch on telly? What do you watch on telly?
Yeah, well, some people do come to us and say, what should we watch? So we're going to give you some tips.
Yes. friends of ours have been saying to us for ages, you should watch Sherwood. And I thought it was going to be something to do with Robin Hood.
So did I. I thought it was like a new version of... Yeah. There used to be Robin of Sherwood, didn't there?
Exactly. So we weren't that bothered about it. But they said, no. It's set in Nottingham and Sherwood Forest does come into it. And interestingly, a guy with a bow and arrow. But it's not connected to Robin Hood at all. It's actually based on 2 killings that happened in Nottingham.
Around about the miners' strike or just after the miners' strike?
Well, no, it's much later than that because they've got iPhones.
Oh, yeah.
It constantly goes back to... because there's
It's based on the miners' strike.
Yeah.
But it's years after. It's basically the 2 sides, the people that went on strike and the people that didn't, which we refer to as scabs.
Yeah.
So it's still the animosity between those 2 sides of people.
It's really interesting from a historical point of view. We've learnt a lot, but loads of great actors in it. You'll recognise a lot of the actors in it. So we watched series 1. That was 6 episodes, I think.
Yes.
Really good. So before we started series 2, we've just started watching Joan, which is another new series, which is set in the 80s. So it's great music.
Oh, amazing. Oh, I know this one. I do keep trying to sing to them, which is annoying you.
Slightly, yes.
Because I can't sing.
Oh, no, I didn't say that. It's just you don't want, I'm trying to watch and you singing over it is slightly distracting.
But it's great music.
When you're not singing along to it.
See what I mean? She pretends and then she comes out with the truth.
No, it's got nothing to do with you not being able to sing. You'd find it annoying if I was singing through it. It's not whether you can sing or not. Stop, you look so upset. Talk about Joan. Who's the woman in it?
Sophie Turner, who was in Game of Thrones. Yeah, she's amazing. And a very, very different character to what she played in Game of Thrones. I mean, she's playing a proper sort of London girl in this. And really, really good.
Yeah, it's a great story, isn't it?
Yeah.
Enjoying it.
And they just nipped over to Spain. That's the first time they've gone over to Spain. We're trying to figure out where it was, but we don't recognise anywhere.
No.
I'm not even sure it was Spain.
Yeah, it's either not Spain, it's either the south of France, or it's one of the islands, possibly.
Or, as I said, Canberra Sands, and they've just jazzed it up. A few props in the sea.
Last week, one of the things we were talking about was watering plants and whether we were able to or not because of the water restrictions.
We don't need to now, do we?
No, because there's been some rain, so that's good. We bumped into Charlotte, our friend Charlotte, at Annie, and she, having listened to our podcast, said something that my mother does is when she turns the shower on, she puts a bucket there and collects all the cold water while the water's getting warm enough for her to get in the shower, and then that water that she collects in the bucket she uses for watering the plants, which I thought was a great idea.
Yeah, we just need a bucket.
Good idea. We just need to get a bucket. But that's a really good idea. Great tip for saving water and, making sure that the water that you're using isn't being waste and used for another purpose. But that kind of goes against something I heard also this week, Spencer Matthews talking about on the Spencer and Vogue podcast. Somebody got in touch and asked Spencer for any kind of tips to get yourself into a routine in terms of somebody who was trying to be healthier, trying to exercise more, have a better lifestyle, to kind of get someone into the right mindset and routine so they don't try something for a couple of days and then go, oh, yeah, I can't be bothered to do that anymore. And it was a really interesting question, all about discipline and how long it takes to build a habit and that kind of stuff. And one of the things that Spencer said that he does every morning is have a cold shower.
Well, wasn't he an advocate of the ice bath? He was having an ice bath.
Yeah, he's done that, and they've both done the cold swimming and things. But having a cold shower. And it's the kind of thing, very much like the ice bath and the cold water swimming, that I love the idea of. And I think, yeah, I'd love to do that kind of thing. During the summer, I pretty much do have that. I mean, not freezing cold, but a pretty cold shower every day because it's so hot. So it's really nice and refreshing. But as soon as the weather starts to change here, the idea of having a cold shower is not remotely fun.
No, I enjoy a shower.
A cold shower?
No, that's what I'm saying. So having a cold shower, I'm not sure if I'd enjoy it.
Oh, no, you don't enjoy it. That's kind of the point.
Well, then I don't understand.
Well, it's discipline. He says it sets you up for the day. It's invigorating. It's good for the metabolism. It's all that kind of stuff.
Yes, I know. And longevity. Is that
longevity?
The word? Longevity. Thank you. That's what I said, but in a different way.
Very much like our lines.
Exactly. But anyway, it's very good for that.
Does it make you want to do it, though?
No.
No, exactly. So, yeah, I think I'll look after the plants as opposed to having a cold.
Listen, if it added years on, but it's going to add a couple of days on.
Well, we don't know, do we? Who knows? Who could ever prove something like that? A few articles from the Surrey English this week.
There are a few, look.
I know. There was one that talked about 7 out of 10 new residents in Malaga province in the last 10 years are foreigners, with Britons, Moroccans and Argentinians leading the rankings.
Wow.
That's huge, isn't it? 7 out of 10.
Yeah, well, it's always been that sort of place, hasn't it? As we know from living here.
Seeing one of those people.
We see lots of people that we get to know quite well and are good friends move on. I mean, we've got one going home very shortly, and she's lived here for many years. She's been here ever since we've been here. So it is a transient place. People generally that are here, other than the Spanish, weren't born here. They are here for a reason, whether it's a better lifestyle, whether it's a stopgap, whether it's just to get away from something, running away from something, running to something.
To just be in the sunshine.
So, yeah, lots of different reasons, and they're not all permanent reasons.
But something I find fascinating, because we are one of those foreigners, you know, we are a statistic in that, how we would feel, or how our fellow Brits feel who live in the UK, if that was a statistic there. You know, I'd be interested to know how many new residents of London, let's say, in the last 10 years are foreigners. I have to say, if 7 out of 10 new residents in London in the last 10 years were foreigners, it would be interesting to know what the Brits would feel about that.
Well, I think we would already see that, because on the news in the UK is always all about immigration. And I think there are certain places in the UK where you probably have got that statistic.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think we know how most people feel in the UK, and they don't really like it.
It's a fascinating topic of discussion.
Yes, and quite controversial. So let's move on quickly.
United Airlines will maintain daily flights between Malaga and New York next summer. I remember when we announced this on our podcast, the fact that it was this year, this summer, and we said, oh, we must go. We still haven't been to New York.
No, I think it's May to September or May to October. A lot of people are disappointed because there was some talk that they were going to do it all year round.
Yeah.
And this new schedule that they've just released obviously shows that they're not going to do it all year round. They're going to maintain the flights, but it's going to be seasonal.
We didn't even look at flights, did we? We discussed looking at it, but then we didn't. We're so busy, aren't we? Life gets in the way of new life all the time.
Yes, it gets in the way of our new adventures.
Yes. What should we do about that?
Do another podcast. Our adventures that didn't happen.
Our life that hasn't happened yet. More than 1 in 5 UK adults are considering moving abroad. This was another piece in the Surrey English, and some of the reasons were because of the cost of living crisis in the UK, the cost of UK property, which I thought was interesting because it's not much cheaper here, if cheaper at all, certainly not where we live, and better job prospects.
Also not something that you...
No, definitely not, depending on what what your skills were, if any. If you can't speak Spanish, then, there's certain industries that you just couldn't get into here. But obviously there's a lot of jobs, certainly in hospitality.
Real estate.
There's a lot of other things that you could do and you wouldn't need to speak Spanish. So it kind of depends. But certainly the cost of property is not cheap here. It's going up and up and up. It really is.
Well, I think if you take the Costa del Sol, Marbella, Estepona, etc., the cost is just going up so much each year. So it's not like it used to be, where you could come over and get a good exchange rate, which also isn't great at the moment, and then get something much bigger for your money. I don't think that's quite the case at the moment.
I had a message the other day from a friend of mine who's lived in Fuengirola for many years, which is much further down the coast and a lot cheaper than Marbella. She messaged and she said, I'm thinking about moving to San Pedro. I really like it there. Have you got any contacts in rentals and things? And I said, yeah, there's a few numbers I can give you. I said, it's ever so expensive here, though, and it's difficult to find rentals. I've got friends who have been looking for a new rental property in and around San Pedro for a long time. They're really hard to come by. I said, you're really lucky to find a decent apartment, a decent 2-bedroom apartment for under £1,500 a month. And she said, what? That's ridiculous. She had no idea. And you are lucky to find something half decent for under £1,500.
And I say maybe only 5, 6, 7 years ago, you would have got apartments for €900. But it's gone up so much. And it's scary how much it's going up because it's not stopping. So it's just continuing. So what's happening is all the Spanish that are on Spanish wages, which are generally not that high, they can't afford to live in their local areas.
Which is criminal. I think that's absolutely disgusting. People who are from here being priced out of their own homes and towns, and that really is disgusting. I feel really uncomfortable with that.
Yeah, but we're part of the problem, really.
Yeah, I don't know what we're supposed to do about it.
No, I know. It's one of those things that I don't know what the answer is. I think in Fuengirola, I think we've mentioned about it on a podcast before, certainly they've done it in Mallorca, but they're going to do it in Fuengirola, is to literally take away all of the licenses for holiday rentals, and they have specific criteria. You can only rent out a property that has its own main entrance, etc., which means that most apartments will no longer be able to be holiday rentals. And it's generally the holiday rentals that have been pushing up the prices because people aren't renting them out long term.
Yeah.
They're cashing in on the summer rental market. So if that happens, then that could push prices down again. But Fuengirola isn't really experiencing this price increase. So if they do follow suit in Marbella, which I'm not sure they'll be allowed to because, I mean, it's a tourist town that relies on people coming in and spending money.
Tricky one. One other thing I just wanted to mention quickly, because there might be people listening who would be interested in this or have kids who are interested in this. There are 80 jobs up for grabs at Sierra Nevada Ski Resort, but you need to move quickly because they go. You know, it must be a fun place to work if you're in your early 20s working in a ski resort.
G'day, girl.
Exactly, that kind of thing. So if that sounds like something that you or your child might be interested in, then definitely look into it.
Quite sexist, isn't it? Is there an equivalent of a chalet girl for a boy?
A chalet boy?
Not heard of that job title.
Well, I don't think chalet girl is a job title.
It is, yeah.
Oh, is it really?
Oh, yeah, in ski resorts, yep.
Oh, okay,
Yep.
There you go. Well, that's it from us this week. Thank you for listening. Have a good one. It is goodbye from him.
And it's goodbye from Beverly.
Goodbye.